Hi everyone, welcome back. This is part two of the class I'm doing on linking words. As soon as everybody clicks on the green join class button, we can begin. Norbert, you were able to get in this time. Awesome. And we have Fernando who's joined us again. Fernando, did you disappear in the last class? I feel like I didn't hear from you after a while.
No, I try to, yeah, I try to disappear. I try to disappear 3 minutes before the class end
Oh,
because
you could get
I can join to the another class. It's a pretty trick.
It is. Oh, I like that word. It's predatory. Who can get in first? Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad you were able to secure a place. Okay. All right. So I think our class is full. Wow. Okay, so we can begin. I'm hoping that for those of you who are like joining class right now, you were at least watching the last class because it's the continuation from the class that we just completed on linking words. We covered quite a bit of a document, and we're just going to look at the last page, and now it's all going to be examples and how to actually practically use linking words to help join sentences, phrases, paragraphs. Okay, so is everybody comfortable with that? So this is just a continuation from the last class. All right, is everybody good? Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So we actually have quite a couple of David. Wait, I'm glad to see you're here. Instead of like
Hello.
chat flags. Hi.
I'm lucky to join you.
Okay, I'm happy you feel that way. All right, so let's begin. Again, let's just do a quick round of introductions. Let's say our name, say where we're from, and whether or not we're watching the last class. Okay. All right. So my name is Hina. I am from Canada, and I now live in San Francisco in California. And I was teaching the last class on linking words, so I was definitely there. All right. Now let's start with Antonio.
Okay, my name is Antonio. I live in Spain, and I wasn't watching the last class because I was with Joe, so I don't know if I can stay or not.
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay. No, you should be able to stay if you're comfortable with the material, and the documents are all there. So in case you don't know what we covered, the documents are all attached with the class description, so you can have a look at them on your own desktop. Just to kind of get on par with everyone else. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Awesome. Next we have Christophe.
Hi, Hina. Nice to see you again.
Nice
I'm
to see you
Christophe.
too.
I'm from France.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in the last minute in the class.
Awesome. All right. This is for me to know like who's new and who isn't. Okay. Thanks, Christophe. Next we have David.
Hello, my name is Damed. I'm from Algeria.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah?
you were in the last class. Yes, I know.
Yes.
All right,
Okay.
perfect. Thank you,
Thank you.
David. Next we have
You're
Fernando.
Hi, this is Fernando. I'm from Chile. Fortunately, I have seen the last class. Sorry.
Perfect. Thank you, Fernando. Next we have Hazem.
Yes. Hi everyone. My name is Hazem. I am from Syria. Yes, I attended your last class.
Yes, thank you, Hazem. Okay.
Yeah.
Next we have Hashim.
Yes, Hisham. I'm Hisham from Egypt, and I attend the previous class.
You were there. Okay, that's awesome. All right, I just want to know how many people are going to be like. Come back, stop! I'm back. Sorry about that. Let's just forget any of this ever happened. Let's forget that I ever get kicked out of the Hangout. Just let's move on. Okay, so we were talking to Hisham, and he was saying that he watched the last class as well. I just want to know so that I know how many people are going to be like, I don't know what's going on. I wasn't here for the last class, so I know how much I need to explain or not. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Hisham. Next we have Marie.
Yes, from France, and I was in the last class.
Perfect. Thank you, Marie. Next we have Norbert.
I am Norbert from Hungary, and I was listening in the last class.
Perfect. Thank you, Norbert. And lastly, we have Yasin.
Hello, Hina. I'm from Turkey. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Thanks. I'm fine.
Okay. And were you here in the last class, or were you watching? Yasin?
What?
Oh, were you watching the last class, or were you weren't in it? Because I'm doing two classes back to back on the same topic, so I just want to know how many people were here for the last one. So I'm assuming you weren't. All right, okay, that's okay. All right, that's fine. No worry, no grudges. Okay, so we're just gonna continue on. Is everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so
Hina, are you there? Because we can hear, maybe.
Can't hear you.
yeah, sorry. You see me before I actually enter the class. So when you see me, I'm not actually in the class. I'm just transitioning into it. Okay. We will forget that I ever get booted out of class. Okay. Nobody is to speak about this. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So I'm going to be sharing my screen once again, and we're just going to finish covering the last document of the PDF. For those of you. Norbert, I'm putting you in charge. You have to find the document from the last class and put it in the chat box for everybody who doesn't know how to access it, okay? So Norbert's going to be posting it, all right? So I'm just going to share my screen and we will begin. All right. So in the last class, we covered time, different ways to say where, on time parallel you are. And then we covered reformation, which is basically or. So we're done covering and. So and basically allows us to continue on with one subject or one topic or one thought. So now we're going to be covering or, which expresses something in a different way. All right. So other ways to say or are, in other words, in that case, rather, that is to say, to put it more simply. Okay. I know this one, to put it more simply, is not that often used, but it is another way to say or, okay? Replacement expresses an alternative to what has preceded. Everybody knows what this word means, right? Preceded?
Yeah.
Yeah, can somebody explain it to me just really quickly? The person who said
previous.
yes.
Previous.
Exactly, previous. Express an alternative to what has preceded. So what has previously been said, these words allow you to express an alternative, so another view on what you have already said. And easiest way to say that is alternatively, another possibility would be better still, worse still. And so better still, worse still, you would present when you are presenting something, you are presenting an alternative that is either better or worse. Depending on what you're presenting, you would use either one of these words. You wouldn't use both of them. You wouldn't say better, worse still. You would say either better still or worse still. On the other hand, rather, the alternative is, okay? Alternatively, and the alternative is. If you can see, a lot of these words are going to fit into more than one category. So rather is actually here. It's in reformation as well as replacement, okay? And it's just you're just going to have to practice with reading and writing and speaking, and you're going to have to find out, which word goes where. Okay, and now let's move on to our very last page, which covers but, okay? So but, Hazim, you were asking me about that. Contrast, a different opinion. So contrast. by way of contrast, you can actually say by way of contrast. Has anybody ever used this phrase before? No? Okay. So you can actually say by way of contrast, which is you're going to present another opinion on what you have just said. Conversely, that this comes from the word convert, so to change from one to another. Conversely, in comparison, in fact, in reality, instead, on the contrary. Okay, this is when you're directly presenting another opinion. On the one hand, on the other hand. These are used in pairs. Okay, on the one hand, she says she wants to travel, but on the other hand, she doesn't want to leave her job. Okay. Then. And then you have concession. This indicates that the previous view is accepted with reservations. This is the part of but where you have limitations. Okay, so admittedly, in spite of, naturally, nevertheless, after all. Again, many words you can use to indicate concession. All right. So I hope everybody is comfortable with this document. If you're not, Google, Norbert should have posted a link to the document in the chat box. You can download it and use it for your own reference. This document I hope you guys will be using on your own outside of class, because I think it does a very good job of summarizing all the different ways that linking words are used and in what scenarios they're used. Okay. So now what we are going to do is, for all those who want the link, it should be posted in the chat box. Okay, so now what we're doing is we are going to use our Google Doc and go through examples. Okay, I know it's a lot to cover, but is everybody relatively comfortable to move on to examples and start using these words in actual paragraphs and sentences? Yes?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. That's awesome. So I just posted a link to a Google document. So that's the one we're going to be using. All right. So we have two different paragraphs, and each paragraph has the words blanked out that we are going to be using. So when you see the A, for example, in the first paragraph, you have our state's correctional system is plagued with problems. A means that in the document that we just covered, you are going to go to section A. So that is on page 2, and it is under listing. So you are going to have to pick a word from part A of the document. Okay? From part A, it's an example. So let's all do this together. All right? So our state's correctional system is plagued with problems. Blank. So you're blank. High officials increase their personal wealth by awarding building and catering contracts to distributable companies in run for bribes. Okay, that sentence is just really bad and run on. But what word or what phrase would you put in the first blank? Mm-hmm.
For example.
Yeah. For example.
In case.
For example.
Mm-hmm. For example, or you could say.
For instance.
For one thing, or you could say for instance, because this person is giving you a cold hard example of why the correctional system has problems. Okay. Yeah. No. Furthermore, somebody has just written in the Google document, would you say furthermore? You wouldn't say furthermore, because that person has not moved on to more things in the same point. He is still at the same point, and he is giving you examples of why he said what he said. Okay? So our state's correctional system is plagued with problems. For example, high officials increase their personal wealth and they do bad things in return for bribes. Okay, so that's an example of why the system is plagued with problems. Okay, so when you read A, B, C, D, E, those means that you have to refer to that section of the document that we just covered. All right, so Norbert would have pasted this document. You should have it with you. Okay. And oftentimes there will be a word. Oftentimes there will be a word, like at the end of this word there was example. So I mean, when you see that, then that means you're giving an example. What are words that you use to give examples? Okay. For example, for part B, what you're doing is you're moving on with that same thought. So what word do you use for addition? Same thing with C, it's a result. D is an addition. Okay. E is a conclusion. So if you get something, and more than one word or more than one phrase can fit into these sentences. Okay. So if you think you're wrong, chances are you're probably not. So don't be afraid to give the answer. Okay. All right. So who would like to continue and fill in the second sentence?
Um, can I try?
Of course. Go ahead, Hazim.
Okay.
Go ahead. Okay.
I think we can use furthermore here or moreover.
Okay. Furthermore or moreover. Does everybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
In addition, also we can use it as well.
Furthermore. Sorry, not furthermore.
Yeah.
Furthermore, and then we have moreover.
Yeah.
What else? What else can we use here?
Can we use as well?
No, not as well. As well is
Yeah.
even though it is addition, as well means this as well as that. But this is
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So where were we? On part B. So furthermore, moreover, what else can you put in that blank? That would mean the same thing as furthermore, moreover.
In addition.
In it, yeah. In addition. Okay. In addition. Perfect. Okay. Is that clear for everyone? So Hazim, can you read the sentence for us, please?
Okay. In addition, promotions within the system are made on the basis of politics, not merit.
Merit, not merit.
Merit.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you. Who would like to do C?
Finally, the system is filled.
Finally, the system is filled. Okay, so there's two blanks. There's it's this one over here, and then this one over here. So they have to match with one another.
Yeah.
In order that.
Can we say here also, teacher?
Okay, also the
Yeah.
system is filled. Well, I actually don't think that there should be a blank here. Yeah, I think this is wrong. Yeah, sorry. Okay, yeah, sorry. Somebody said Who was the first person who said what we can put in this blank here? What was it? Furthermore? No, what was it?
Finally.
No.
Finally, okay, finally would be if this was the last point that you're presenting in the paragraph. Okay, so finally the system is filled with people at the top who know little about what they're doing. If this was the last sentence in the paragraph, then you would say finally. Okay, is that clear?
Yes, teacher.
Yeah.
Maybe we can use besides.
Besides,
Yeah.
besides is like no. Somebody
No.
actually, yeah. Go ahead, try it. What else?
Yeah.
So look at the word here. It's
As a
result.
consequence.
Yeah, as a consequence.
Yeah.
As a consequence or as a result. Okay? As a result, the system is filled with people at the top who know little about what they are doing. Okay? So we have to follow the storyline over here as well. Okay, sorry. There's a lot of noise coming from someone's microphone. Can everybody please mute their mics? Hisham, I'm going to mute you because there's a lot of noise coming from your mic. Okay? And for someone's asking me, Fernando, have you changed your net provider? No, I'm actually at Verbling's office. I don't know why this is happening. It's an issue with Google Hangout, and they're doing whatever they can to get it sorted. Okay, so I promise this won't last much longer. All right. Okay, so we have to follow the storyline. So the storyline is that the state's correctional system, meaning the prison system, is plagued with problems. So the person first gives an example is the high officials, they take bribes. Furthermore, promotions within the system are made on the basis of politics, not merit. So furthermore, promotions are made because people know one another and there's favoritism. As a consequence of all these wrongdoings, the system is filled with people at the top who know little about what they are doing. So a consequence or a result of the problematic correctional system is that people are working where they don't know what they're supposed to do. Is that clear? Does that make sense? So we have to follow along with the story and see what actually is being said. We have to follow with the progression of the sentences. Okay?
Yeah.
Any questions? Any questions before I move on?
Please, what does it mean plagued with problems?
Oh, plagued. Plague means to be full of problems. Okay? Plague is like everybody know of like the plague in Europe? Plague basically means to have too many problems, to be riddled with problems. Okay?
I don't understand. Sorry.
Okay, plague is to be burdened with problems. Do you know what burden is?
No.
No, burden is someone like to help me out? Someone like to explain what a burden is?
You can write it. You can write it. Please.
I did. I wrote down burden in the Google chat box. So if you're so I'm gonna write it here. Burden. Okay. So So burden is something. It's like a problem that you carry with you all the time. Okay. Okay, so to be plagued with problems is to be burdened with problems. So to have a problem, a huge problem that you can't get rid of.
In charge of a problem.
Unwillingly. You are in charge of a problem unwillingly. You have a problem that you do not want, but it is thrust upon you. Does that make any sense? Plagued means to be burdened with a problem. Okay, that's the best I can do explaining it. I don't know.
Yes, I stick with in the dictionary.
Okay, plague is usually used for like diseases, to be plagued with a disease, so to be burdened with a disease. Okay.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Yeah, if there's any word that people don't know what it means, do stop me and I'll do my best to explain it. Okay. So we were at C. As a consequence, the system is filled with people at the top who know little about what they are doing. Who would like to read D? D. Yeah, go ahead, Norbert.
Okay. I think maybe actually careless security measures, allowing trusted inmates to control certain operation of the institution are part of the growing problem.
Okay, so you're saying actually. All right. So can you see he is saying part of the growing problem. So he is telling you more reasons why there's a problem. So he is adding onto the same point. So what do you use when you are
Especially.
Especially? No, especially means to focus. Like to focus specifically on one point is especially. Okay? Who'd like to, in other words? No, in other words, specifically, no, especially and specific, they're very similar. They mean to focus on like a very particular point. You use specially or specifically. So addition, it's in the bracket is addition. So we can do in addition, okay? Because you're adding to the same thing. You're not focusing on just one small thing. You're adding to the same thing. As a consequence, the system is filled. In addition, careless security measures are part of the growing problem, okay? So there are people. Yeah, go ahead.
Teacher, we can use another word instead of addition. Addition. I don't think.
We can say what is more. We can say what is more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Furthermore or more.
What is what is more? Yeah. What is more? Furthermore. Okay. Like I said, you can use lots of different words, but they have to be from very similar categories because you're using addition. Most of the words have to be from the addition category. Okay. So you're adding on to one point, you're putting another point to it. So and, in addition, furthermore, what is more? Okay? Thank you. Norbert, is it clear to you why we're not using especially or especially? Especially and specially are used when you want to focus specifically on one thing. All right?
I just didn't know what was the meaning of addition. But
okay.
Now I know.
Oh, addition means to add. Okay. Sorry, I should have clarified that. Addition is to add. To add or to continue. Okay? So if you want to continue on the same point, you're adding to the same point. Okay? Addition means to add or to continue. All right? Sorry, I should have explained that. Yeah, if somebody doesn't know what any word is, do stop me and I will tell you what it means, okay? All right, thank you, Norbert. Who would like to continue from but one increasing tendency? I will pick names. Sorry? David?
Yes?
Okay, sorry. There was some noise coming from your mic. I'm not too sure if it was you. Christoph, would you like to? Yeah, I'll let you do the next one. Christoph, can I get you to do
which one?
But one increasing tendency in particular.
Okay. Actually, I didn't understand how to pick the answer in which PDF because I see the letter. I didn't understand what did they mean.
Oh, the letter? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll explain.
C.
I'll explain what the letters mean. Okay, hold on. Okay.
Because in my PDF there is no letter there.
I get it. Okay. So the PDF, the one that I've attached, and the one that we are using, can you see the screen?
Yeah.
Christoph? Yeah? Linking
yes,
words and do you have this? Do you have this PDF?
Yes, I had it in the last course.
Okay. So can you see over here there's an A?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Okay.
And can you see there's a B?
Okay. I understand. Okay.
Okay. All right.
So we should refer to this PDF.
No. I'm not saying that like it's A, B, C, D. It's okay. You see like A is called listing, and then there's addition, there's transition, there's summary, right? Yeah, and we're referring to this PDF, okay? And then you have reference, example, result, place, okay? So with the letter, there's a word that says example, right? So that means that you go to the example section of the PDF, and then you look at all the words that you have, and then you have to pick one of the words from here, okay?
Okay.
Same thing. So for B, part B, the word was addition, okay? So that means you go to the addition section of the PDF, which is over here, and then you look at all these words and you have to pick one of the words from over here. All right? Is that clear for everyone? So let's, yeah? Sorry?
This
Did
one
someone
I
say
think
no? Okay. So,
this one is I think for example.
for example, E, or sorry, which one are you doing? E?
E. Yeah.
E? Okay. So can you read the sentence for us from here?
From where? From but one.
Yeah, but one increasing tendency.
But one increasing tendency in particular is doing harm to the system's image and efficiency.
Image and efficiency.
Image and efficiency.
Efficiency. Efficiency.
Efficiency.
Yes.
This is the tendency of officials who are charged with important tasks and who make faulty decisions to cover up their mistakes.
Okay.
So
this blank, all right? The word you're supposed to use is a conclusion word. Can you see this?
Yeah.
Conclusion, right?
Conclusion word.
Okay, so let's go to the conclusion section of this PDF.
Okay.
Right? Sorry, conclusion. Yeah.
No, it's not conclusion. It's E.
Result.
I think. For example.
Or result.
As a result, yeah. I think it's conclusion because I mean it's right.
Hence,
Yeah.
hence.
But I can see Hina. I can see there an E.
No, E, that means A, B, C, D, E. That just means order. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Okay. This is not that you have to go to section A or section B or section. This is like you have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the fifth blank has to be a word from conclusion.
Oh, okay. Okay, so.
Okay.
Okay, I understand.
Okay, I'm sorry if everybody didn't understand that, but these are just this can be seen as one. 1, 2.
Hina,
Yeah.
Hina, but in the PDF doesn't exist any section with the conclusion word.
Okay, what section can be seen as conclusion?
Reference.
Reference. Okay. No, reference refers back to previous sentence. Okay, who can tell me what part of this PDF can be seen as a conclusion section?
We can use this word for conclusion. So, therefore, thus, hence.
Yeah, so the result.
Finally.
Result, yeah. So the result section, result and conclusion are the same thing. Okay, result, conclusion, in the end. Okay, so. So what word can we put here?
We can say due to this one.
Yeah, okay. Can we say that? Yeah?
Yeah.
Or we can say due to this or as a result?
Yeah. As a result, yeah.
As a result or due to this. Okay? Consequently.
Consequently, yeah.
Perfect. Okay? So yeah, sorry about that. I didn't realize people would mistake it as like you have to go to that section. They were just numbers. Like for example, over here in the second paragraph, I'm gonna change all of this. It's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. All right. Okay. So is it clear? Like I said, you can use many different words as long as they end up meaning what you want. It doesn't really matter, and you don't always use one word. You can use phrases as well. Okay, I know this is a little difficult and it's very, very confusing because there's just so many words that you can choose from, as you can see. But you know, like I said, only practice is what will allow us to make it better. All right, is everybody comfortable with part A? Can we move on to part B?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Can I get somebody to read part B, please?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Genetic sequencing in a business or testing the genes of employees to see if they are sus-
Susceptible.
susceptible
Mhm.
to workplace related diseases may
Diseases.
present
Disease.
may present problem for the
Tested.
um,
For the tested.
tested. Oh, sorry, for the tested.
Okay, so yeah, before you go on, Hazim, so
Yeah.
we're talking about genetic screening here, okay? So I can tell you from right now that we are talking about stages, all right? We are going to be talking about the stages of genetic screening. As you can see, there are no words and brackets next to these sentences. So you have to know which word to use on your own and from which section. So it's not going to tell you that you have to pick a word from the conclusion section or the addition section, okay? You have to know, you have to follow along with the paragraph and pick which word goes in the blank according to what is being said. So the first sentence, genetic screening, everybody knows what genetic screening is? I can explain it if you guys don't. Let me know.
Please
No?
explain it.
Okay, genetic screening is when you go to a clinic and they look at your DNA. So they take a sample of your blood and they look at your DNA using machines and they screen it to see what your DNA looks like. Okay, so if you have any genes that can make you more prone to getting diseases, if you have genes that are going to lead you to obesity, all that stuff. So when you look at somebody's DNA, you're genetically screening them. So you're looking at their genes and you're screening them. Screening is another way to say searching. Okay, so genetic screening is genetic searching. So you're searching somebody's DNA to look for any problems or anomalies. Okay, is that clear?
Yeah.
So what this is saying is genetic screening in business or testing the genes of employees to see if they are susceptible. This word here is susceptible. Susceptible means vulnerable. Okay, everybody knows what vulnerable is. If they are more prone to, if it is more likely that they will likely. If all right, so that's another word is likely or vulnerable. Okay, to see if they are susceptible, vulnerable, or likely to workplace-related diseases may present problems for the tested. So the tested are the employees. Okay? So this sentence is saying that if businesses start genetically screening their employees, then it might be a problem for the employees because if it is likely that they will get a workplace related disease, then very likely the employer would not want to hire them, right? So that is what this first sentence is saying. So I can tell you now that from now on, we will be talking about the stages of genetic screening. So just keep that in mind when you are filling the blanks, okay? Who would like to take a crack at the first blank?
You can say in fact.
In fact, okay. In fact is when you say something and then you want to back it up with proof. So you haven't really said anything here. So there's no need for you to back it up with proof. Okay? So you're starting something out. What are the words that you can use when you start something out?
You can see
First.
Yes. Firstly.
Firstly.
The genetic screening tests and technology in general are in their infancy stages. Okay? So like I said, you're going to be talking in stages here. So if we go back to the Google, the PDF that I gave you guys, if you look at the second page under listing, enumeration indicates a cataloging of what is being said. Okay, so most lists are clearly defined groups of words. So you're cataloging. You're putting stuff together and moving on in stages. All right. So what are the words over there? Firstly, secondly, thirdly, to begin, to start, in the first place, moreover. So again, you can also write in the first place. Okay. Is that clear? Does everybody understand why we're going to be putting firstly or in the first place and not in fact or something else over there?
Yeah.
Is that clear? Okay. All right. Can somebody
But
read?
but you can put in that blank space first of all, right?
Yeah, you can say first of all as well.
Ah, okay.
The
First
same.
of all. Yeah, first of all, in the first place, firstly, you can
Okay.
also say for one thing. For one thing, okay? So as long as it all means the same thing, that you're starting off with this, all right? As long as it means that, you can put any one of these there. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions? So firstly, the genetic screening tests and technology in general are in their infancy stage. To be in the infancy stage means to be very new, okay? So these genetic screening tests are very, very new. So there's not enough evidence to back them up. All right? Is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Can somebody read the second one for me and let me know what word will go in that blank?
Secondly,
Yeah. Who would like to read the second one?
secondly, many physicians and health professionals doubt her reliability.
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 Okay.
Reliability.
Okay. All right. It can definitely be secondly, but okay. So this sentence is an extension of this sentence here that we just read. Let me just share my screen so everybody can see what I'm doing. Okay. So
I
we are
can put
saying
the in addition.
No.
no.
Moreover,
So follow along here. So firstly, the genetic screening tests, they are very, very inaccurate. So if they are inaccurate, what will that do? That will have a result, right? That will lead to something. And what it is leading to is that many physicians doubt their reliability.
As
So
a result,
as a result,
As
perfect.
due to.
Yeah. As a
Can we say?
result. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Can,
consequently. Yeah, sorry, Hazem. What else did you want to say?
can we say due to this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Due
Due
to
to
this
this.
reason. Yeah,
Or
exactly.
we
Due
can
to
say
this reason.
also therefore.
There.
You sure?
Yeah,
Can we say
yeah,
also
yeah.
therefore?
Therefore is usually, therefore you could say it, but I'd be careful because therefore might mean that you are finishing your thought, like you are finishing this paragraph. Okay? Therefore is usually like in conclusion to everything that you have said.
Oh, yeah.
All right? But I
Maybe.
mean, yeah, you could have said therefore if this was the last sentence of your paragraph, but it's not. Like there's more. All right?
Yeah.
Okay, so as a result, so because these tests are so new that they cannot be trusted, as a result, many physicians doubt their reliability. Reliability means how true or how accurate something is. It's reliable. Okay, does everybody understand why we are using these words?
yeah.
yes.
Yeah. As a result, consequently, due to this reason, all this means because of something, the result is something else. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Who would like to read the third one? So, okay, so again, follow me here. The first one was firstly, and then this was a result of the first one. Okay, so now let's move on to number 3. Who would like to read that? Yeah, when you, yeah, and whoever would like to read, just tell me your name because I can't see your names anymore.
Fernando.
Fernando, okay, go ahead, Fernando.
Okay. Many. Where were we? In which
Here,
part?
right here, number 3. So you have to fill
Okay.
in this blank and then you have to read this sentence. So you can read the sentence before you fill in the blank so you know what it is
Okay.
you're talking about.
Okay, I got it. Once genetic information is recorded on employees, it cannot always be kept secret.
Kept secret. Okay, now this
Kept
is
secret.
another, yeah, so now this is another problem with genetic screening. So we've already covered what the first problem is. So this is another problem. So what would you say?
Secondly,
Therefore, again, is in conclusion. Okay, therefore is when you finish something. So
on the other hand,
secondly.
on the other hand, okay.
Yeah. On the other hand, again, is used for like comparison. If you were comparing the two methods, if you were comparing the two reasons, then maybe. Okay. This is secondly, once genetic information is recorded on employees, it cannot always be kept secret. Okay. Even though employees are assured that their medical files are confidential, clerical staff have access to them. All right. So so are you guys following the paragraph? So we're talking about genetic screening. We're talking about the first problem with genetic screening, and now we just mentioned the second problem with genetic screening, okay? So we're going in order, first, second, all right? If there was another new problem that was presented, what would we say?
Please, we can put indeed one.
No.
Indeed is again to emphasize, like if you presented this point, once genetic information is recorded on employees, it cannot always be kept secret. Indeed, that would present a problem for privacy. Okay?
Okay.
So you're backing up something by saying, oh, indeed, of course, that would be a problem. Indeed is another way of saying of course. Like, of course, if you can't hide someone's private information, of course there's going to be privacy issues. Indeed, people are going to get upset. All right? Is that clear?
Okay.
Okay. Awesome.
Yes.
Okay. Now let's move on with number 4. Who would like to do number 4?
Damon.
Yeah, go ahead.
If they are entered into a computer database, they are available to anyone with access.
Okay. So, sorry, what word did you say? Emmett? Hi. Are you still?
Thinking.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You're thinking. I thought you said something and I didn't hear it. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, you can think. Don't worry about it. So just think about what you and I just discussed right now about the use for indeed and of course.
Okay, we can put indeed.
Of course, yeah. So indeed, if they are if they are entered into a computer database, of course they are available to anyone with access, right? So if something is entered into a computer database, of course you can access it. Anybody can access it. Therefore, indeed, if they are entered into a computer database, they are available to anyone with access. Okay?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah? Is that clear, Ahmed?
Yes.
Is that clear for everybody? Why we put indeed over there?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Who would like to read the next one? Number 5. Okay, so before we move on, I'll say number 5 is still talking about the second point, all right? So the second point is, once genetic information is recorded, it cannot be kept secret, employees cannot be assured. So, of course, you will have all these problems because all this information is in a computer, so everybody can access it. So we are finishing up the second point. So since we are finishing up the second point, what would we put here?
Something for
as a result.
Yeah. As a result or thus. Thus, some argue that such screening processes are violations of personal rights. Okay? Is that clear? As a result of this problem, people are arguing that screening procedures are violations of personal rights. Okay? So you're summarizing. Is that okay with everyone? Is everybody comfortable with why we did?
Yes.
I'd like to read the very last sentence. So number 6 over here. You can read the sentence before you fill in the blank. Okay? So can I get somebody to read the sentence, please?
Can I read?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Hamid.
Yeah, okay.
Hamid.
Yeah, go ahead, Hamid.
Many cite similarities between genetic screening and drug testing, noting that both involve a process of obtaining information from unwilling individuals that might affect them adversely.
Adversely.
Opponents of genetic screening point out that some employees with the potential for workplace diseases would rather run the risk than lose their jobs.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Hamid. So what word do you think will go in that last blank, Hamid? Again, it's of course. Of course, there are going to be many similarities between genetic screening and drug testing. Okay, so what word will go there?
Finally?
Finally, not really. You're not presenting a new point. Okay, so like I said, we did firstly.
Indeed.
A result.
Yeah, exactly. Indeed. Okay, so you're saying first point, second point. Okay, now this is not a new point. You're just saying that of course there are going to be so many similarities between genetic testing and drug screening that people are going to be opposed to it. All right. I know this was difficult and I know the paragraphs were a little challenging, but I hope it gave us. Yeah, go ahead.
Hina, but a question so far, why indeed, because your finalist the idea, the paragraph. So in that case, indeed, it's not a final word.
Okay, yeah. So I get what you're saying. Finally and thirdly would be the same way to use it. So if you were presenting another point, if you were saying firstly this is the problem, secondly this is the problem, and finally this is the problem. Okay, so you're not presenting a new problem. You're just saying that there are going to be other issues because there's so many similarities with drug testing. You would also not say therefore, because you're not summarizing. Therefore is used when you have, therefore, this is what we will do about the problem. Okay? So I have presented point 1 and point 2 and point 3. Therefore, in conclusion, I propose that we do this about it. Okay? You're not even doing that. Do you read anywhere in the last sentences that there is a proposal to solve the problem? There's not. It's just that there are going to be a lot of similarities between these two tests, and people are going to be opposing it because of the risk of getting fired, because people might know that you're more susceptible to these diseases. Do you understand? That's what I'm saying. You have to kind of understand what is being said, and you have to follow along to know how to move on from one point to another. If you said finally here, then that would mean that you're presenting a new point, but you're not. Then it wouldn't make sense. Well, why did you say finally? Because you're not presenting a new point. You're actually saying that there's going to be a lot of similarities between these two tests. Do you understand?
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah? Okay, awesome. We actually just have a few more minutes left, so let's move on to the second page. I'm going to actually share my screen for this one. This is fun, and we are going to reword this sentence. Can everybody see my screen?
Yeah.
So directions. Rewrite the following sentences. Let's just do a sentence with the connectors and words we learned in this lesson. So, my professor is an extremely fascinating person. She tells some of the most interesting stories I have ever heard. Okay? So, if we were to reword this with additionally, let's work through this together. How would we reword this sentence and put additionally in it?
We will add extra information.
No. You don't need to add extra information. Extremely fascinating person.
Fascinating person.
Additionally, she tells some of the most interesting stories. Okay? Is that clear? Does everybody get that? Why we did that? Okay? So my professor is an extremely fascinating person. In addition to being fascinating, she tells some of the most interesting stories.
Yeah.
Does everybody get that? Okay. What about the second one?
My professor. You can say in addition to.
Perfect. Yeah. In addition to, how would you continue? In addition to.
In addition
the fact
to
that the fact that my professor.
No, there's an easier way to say that. In addition to the fact that my professor is an extremely no, there's too many words. There's an easier way to say that. In addition to being an extremely fascinating person, comma, my professor tells some of the most interesting stories I have ever heard. Does everybody get that? So in addition to being an extremely fascinating person, my professor tells some of the most interesting stories I have ever heard. Okay? Now, what you were saying was, in addition to the fact that my professor is an extremely fascinating person, she also tells some of the most interesting stories I have ever heard. Exactly. Do you understand that? Do you understand why we didn't say it like that? Because that would be a run-on sentence. Okay? That's too many words and too many. My professor this and fascinating and she and it and that. All right. So the point of language is to get your point across with as few words as possible. Okay. So the way you were doing it was not being done in that way. All right. So in addition to being an extremely fascinating person, my professor tells some of the most interesting stories I have ever heard. That is a really long sentence as well. And the way you were saying it would have made it even longer. All right. Do you understand?
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Okay. Perfect. So who would like to do 2? All right. You know, let's move on from 2. Let's do also. All right. 2 is very, very similar to addition. All right. Let's do also. Okay. Who would like to do also?
My professor is an extremely fascinating person.
Yeah.
He also
tells
some of the next.
Yeah. She also tells some of the most blah blah blah. Okay? Is everybody understanding what we're doing here and why so it's all about the order of words. You can't just be like, oh, I'm just gonna put also and write the sentence exactly the same way. No, you have to change it around. All right?
Yeah.
Okay? Perfect. Who would like to try the next one furthermore? Okay, I'll be honest. Furthermore is the same as the first one. Okay, my professor is an extremely fascinating person. Furthermore, she tells some of the most interesting stories. Okay. Okay, let's do number 7.
Number 7.
Besides, also it's the same.
The same, I think.
It would be my professor is an extremely fascinating person. Comma. Comma. Yeah. Commands. Yeah. So it's extremely fascinating person. Comma, and she tells blah blah blah. Okay. So again, we're using punctuation as well as connectors here. All right. And we have as well not only. Okay, let's do the last one.
Yeah.
Who can tell me how to rephrase it with the last one?
Not only my professor.
No, not only.
My
professor.
No, not only is my professor. Not only is my professor, and extremely fascinating person.
But she also.
But also she.
But also she tells some of the. Okay.
That's Hina. Let's
and
ask you a question.
You can also say, but she also tells.
Okay.
Okay. Again, you can do it both ways. All right. It depends on what you're more comfortable with. All right. Okay. So I actually had so much more planned for these classes than I got covered, but I hope everybody got most of it. I know not everybody is going to understand everything because there was a lot to cover, and also this is a challenging concept in language. Okay, but for all those who said that you want to work on your fluency, this is what you need to do to work on your fluency. Okay, like this is how hard you need to work. So fluency is not just I need to speak with a native speaker. No, you need to know how to build your vocabulary and how to express your thoughts in order. You can't be all over the place and expect people to know what you're saying. All right. So there are lots of documents that I've attached with these 2 classes. Please download them and use them on your own time. And I assure you that they will help you. All right. Next time you're writing an essay for school, or you're practicing your English, use these words. Like I said, don't just use 2 or 3 words like and, then, but. You try to use more and more of these. All right. Okay. And that is my end of 2 hours. I will maybe do another class on this. If you guys give me feedback, let me know what you thought. The give feedback to teacher button on Burbling is now working. So if you want to click on that and give me feedback and let me know what you liked or didn't like about this class, if you'd like me to do it again, I will definitely listen to you and and schedule a class again. There's also my Facebook. If you want to go there and give me feedback. Okay, so thank you guys. I'm 2 minutes over. Happy happy practicing your fluency. All right, and send me questions if you have any. Okay, bye everyone.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye bye.